lot of countries.
Yeah, so in interesting ways in which, like I said, even for me, the way the county is informed in terms of how we engage the tech ecosystem is to be able to, solve some of the challenges that the tech ecosystem faces.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the county through my particular sector is engaging the tech ecosystem.
Yeah.
We are trying to be able to solve some of the policy challenges that the tech ecosystem is facing through engagement. A lot of engagements that I'm having with the tech ecosystem is around policy. So how can we be able to systematically address policy issues? How can you be able to get audience with people within the county so that they can be able to see the solutions that you have? We have a lot of challenges in health. We have Vilgro and an entire ecosystem within health that has solutions, but they never meet. I don't know, they never meet. Some of this, someone is saying this is a basic USSD solution. Someone in the county, I mean, I've never heard of that thing.
It's true.
And if you come with a lot of English and you're like, you can't dumb down this conversation, then you lose me from the get-go. So the Innovation Week I was telling you yesterday is if you're engaging, waziris, you're engaging chief officers, remember these guys are not tech guys.
Yes.
Just dumb down your solution.
Yeah.
Just say what the tech is all about. It doesn't matter whether it's blockchain, AI, whatever solution is, we can be able to solve this solution, and this is how much it will cost you.
Yes.
I mean, there is always, dialogue will always win.
Yeah. So, Victor, me, I just want to be real.
Yes.
Right? If I have a startup, and I've run so many of them over time, one of the things that I realized that even registering one has become easy a few years ago.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about associations, there is an association we are trying to register. For the last, since 2018, that's how many years?
5 years, going 6.
One, we tried to register
a kid was born and went to school.
Yes. An association, we are told, okay, the board sits this time of the year. It's due how many times in a year. So if you miss that spot, that's
next year.
And of course, there's a queue. If you hear they're sitting down, how many associations are trying to register in Kenya for sure? So many. Then you come to societies. The rules themselves are discouraging, right? Because also you want to start somewhere. Maybe I and Victor have seen an opportunity to represent maybe developers, for instance. And we want these actually to be recognized even when we talk to people out there. So you find so many barriers in that case. Do you think there's a way actually we could have a round table? Because with the key stakeholders, and this actually even involves national government, because this is actually a national government issue. So that we can register some of these things. And also, I know there is a reason why some of these rules exist. Because previously it was not more tech oriented. It was more NGO, organization under UN and all this. And people wanted to actually control the financing, so people don't do, the normal thing that people do in terms of corruption,
washing the laundry.
Yes. So because now you see things are evolving, and with evolvement calls for change, right? I'm not saying rules are not good, but also there are some rules that are prohibiting.
Yes.
So I was among the founding members for the Association of Startup and SME Enablers of Kenya.
Okay.
Which is an association that
that's interesting.
That brings together.
It's called ASEC.
ASEC. So it's an association that was registered in under a year.
Okay. But is it that because you are politically corrected?
No, I joined. This was before I joined government. So I mean, this was like 3 years ago.
Okay, that's nice.
Again, just people within the ecosystem sat down and are like, we need to be able to have a systematic conversation with government. And that's how that association was registered.
Okay.
There is also another association called the Association of Countrywide Innovation Hubs, which is an association that is covering incubation centers outside of Nairobi. There's the Blockchain Association of Kenya. There's the Digital Lenders. They renamed. It was called DILAC, the Digital Lenders Association of Kenya. So I mean, there are many associations that are...
And these were easy to do within probably a year.
These are associations that have been formed in the less than 3 years.
Yes.
So I mean, it's just a question of the will. So of course...
And also maybe a collaboration with the legal fraternity. Tech needs to come together with the legal fraternity.
I mean, so there has to be it's not all doom. I mean, I feel like processes are there. Bureaucracy is there, of course, to be able to weed out, bad elements. But ultimately, I can say, if you are to compare ease of doing business generally over the last 10 years, I mean, we can be able to register business on e-Citizen.
Yes.
Talk to any founder who's trying to set up shop in other countries. I will not name them. I mean, it takes at least a year just to even get a business name out. So I mean, we've, as government, I think efforts have been made. Of course, there are still challenges in terms of being able to do one or two things.
Yes.
But I think the bottlenecks that are there are to protect society generally. Because of course you don't want any other association being so formed for even things that maybe are counterculture or against the constitution.
I see the picture.
I mean, but you can be able to.
But I've seen backdoors of late. Where I give you this hand, but I request you to do something with the other hand.
The other thing is, one of the things also that I think is we also try to be individualistic, so that we feel that yes, we're in the tech ecosystem, that there's this urge or this need for everyone to have an association. I mean, I've mentioned 3.
It's like it's another way of making money.
I mean, no, it's just that I don't like MK, I don't like Gram. It's not even membership. It's just it's almost like a clique of sorts.
Or that's a big problem.
Or
by the way,
you want to get keep,
especially even the developer ecosystem.
You want to get keep.
It's quite a situation.
So if say for example we all agreed and sat down and say, look, regardless of whichever technology you are looking at, whether you're a developer, whether you're in blockchain, IoT, etc., is we are all within the innovation ecosystem.
Yes.
How can we, all of us, sit and just engage government as one body?
Yes.
Consolidate all your issues into even a 100-page document and just go and lobby and say, okay, now, point number 1 is this. We all agree. Please give us a solution. Government will comply immediately. Because they can see the numbers, they can see the impact.
You're organized.
It's very organized. I mean, you write a letter, it's signed. And you don't have to, all of us, there are 1,000 of us come to my office.
Picketing and mandamano.
I mean,
it's a bit tricky.
You can't do that as a pundit on TV.
Yeah.
That's not how government works. If let's say, for example, there's a law being amended.
Yes.
It's within the constitution for public participation to happen. How many people respond? Let's say, for example, there was a tax policy that was being done. And guys were like, in tech,
but is it because Kenyans are stressed
not
with
Kenyans,
paying bills?
Not Kenyans. Don't. It's not Kenyans. There's a tax policy that is coming out, and they're like saying, we are reviewing the national tax policy for the country.
Yes.
A 30-day window has been given for you to be able to give comments.
Yes.
Did Africa Stocking give a submission?
Kaka, we were busy trying to
support
to get our customers.
But taxes affect you
directly.
Even if you're to get a resource, or even pull together 3 of us and say, just look at this document. Someone gives you a summary and says, I mean, these are the things that we think would affect us. Please go submit something.
Yes.
I mean, we are always with this. We are busy building. We are busy doing stuff.
Putting out fires.
Yes. Or then someone gives a submission that is not as thought through because they are not within the tech ecosystem, say, for example.
Because it's something
so a random lawyer comes, sits down and assumes, maybe does comparative studies across India, then gives submission. You're not there. So a lobby or an association would allow you to be able to put in, as you look for customers, just take a shilling, put it on the side, give a resource. Can you be able to just look at this document on our behalf? Give us a presentation. You don't even have to do a physical meeting. Just do a Zoom call. That's what I did with the startup bill. I mean, we did a complete national public participation for the bill without, and it was during COVID, without having to go anywhere. So we just like put up a poster. Guys, we have networks in South Sudan, we have networks in Somalia, Nigeria. Come sit. These are the summary. This is what we are looking at. What do you think, guys? Then someone gives their point. Then you give a summary, submit to Parliament. So I mean, it doesn't have to be that we go full throttle in terms of lobbying. But where there are certain issues that affect us, I mean, we need to be able to put aside our issues and just get the job done.
So that said, and to be fair, by the way, with the finance bill, I hear there was a good representation even in the Parliament the day they were looking for views.
Yes.
And people actually presented a lot of things. I saw what is it called? Where people could sign a petition.
Yes.
And so many people signed that petition. It was
Yes.
presented.
Yes.
But nevertheless, the government took the day. It was as of those of similar opinions. Say hi.
I saw that vote.
Yeah,
It's quite,
that was it.
8 p.m. somewhere
That
there.
was it, Kaka. So, of course, there is more work to be done on both sides.
Yes.
From the startup ecosystem, ensuring that you are well represented, and from the government to be more proactive.
Yes.
Because I can tell you for free, the government needs the startups. Not the other way around.
That's true. That's true.
Not the other way around.
The government does not need startups.
Okay,
Oh,
the
it
startups,
does, okay.
The startup end up becoming the middle-sized businesses, SMEs, which is the backbone of any economy.
So government.
No, you said there's a very important thing, and I think that's the analogy in the
It's
in
not
the
analogy.
government.
No, this is what I say. Startup is a form or shape of something.
Okay.
The government needs the solution.
Good point.
The solution
Good
can
point.
come from anywhere. So if,
Interesting.
say for example, we need to be a smart city, it means that we need to be able to build rails, we need to be able to get some technology. We can get that technology from India. Yeah, we can get that technology from
China.
I'm planning
Turkey.
to give another comment about the cyber attack.
No,
Like guys were saying,
No, I'm saying.
get your guys where you go the solution. Why do you need us right now?
Oh, that's serious.
No,
You saw
I
that,
agree.
right? Yes.
All I'm saying is you need to be able to show value
Yes.
for you to be heard. Whether you're coming for a tender, when you're coming for the tender, you can't say,
a
because I
startup."
am Luo, I'm a startup, and I am marginalized, I need this to get this tender.
Yeah.
I have specific technical specifications that I need fulfilled. If you can't fulfill them, come negotiate.
Yes.
But you can't just by the virtue that I'm a local startup.
Yes.
It's like local clothes.
Yeah.
Just because it's made in Kenya and it's 5 times the price of any other,
Yes.
you have to buy. Even you, if whatever, I don't know if you're wearing, you can say at least I'm wearing local.
Yes,
local,
local
clothes.
content.
Yeah, local content.
Yes.
I mean, he's not selling me because of Woishe. He's like
There was value
he's able
created.
to cut, stitch to a standard that is acceptable,
Acceptable, yeah.
Very
and
true.
he gets value.
True.
Yeah.
So even for the startup and innovation, local innovation ecosystem,
Yes.
there has to be a way in which you are able to carry yourself in a manner that shows seriousness, in a manner that shows that you have capacity. I mean, it's not that you don't have capacity, but there is a way in which it has to be packaged.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to say something about that. So
Please.
a few years ago, we used to be in a small office.
Somewhere along Gong Road.
And then I think it was the head of marketing of a bank. I can't mention the bank because, maybe now we are friends. So she came in and then she looked at her office. And then she said, I wanted to give you 100,000 for the business. But I'm not sure you can manage that cash. Basically, what she was saying is that, what if you guys
You're not
close
well
tomorrow?
packaged.
You'll be gone and I'll be in trouble. So
One of the
that's
things
very
that I was
interesting.
telling, like for example,
Packaging,
one of
yeah.
the challenges that we have, let's say for example, around health. If you look at health and look at maybe, for example, maternal deaths
Yeah.
as a challenge,
Yeah.
we have 10 startups that are trying to solve the same.
Yes.
For me, is why can't you just consolidate into one business and come for that business?
But maybe
But that talks about founder wars and king versus.
So who has the problem?
It's
I need a
startups, actually,
solution.
by the way. Yeah.
You are bringing 10 of you, and I have Oracle 1.
That's true. That's
10
true.
of you, and all of you are lobbying. What would I do?
Yeah,
And of course,
yeah,
I can see
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have capacity. I can
yeah,
see you have challenges even getting
yeah.
a bid bond.
Yeah.
You're wasting my time. I would rather manage one person.
And then also behind it
Yes.
is like maybe 100,000 people who need healthcare. So that's the problem you have to solve now.
So
right?
even from an SME perspective, and if you look at data, you see that a lot of the people that we call SMEs, and of course this is just an example, is 90% are micro. So when you say micro, small, medium enterprises,
yeah.
micro are majority and they're less than 500,000 in terms of turnover. So we are very individualistic in terms of the way we do business.
Yeah.
So you want a shop here, like car washes. If you go, you look.
the M-Pesa agent problem.
I call it the condo or ship mentality. So if someone opens a car wash, 10 of them
Like
come.
it's like people don't usually think too much about 200 or 300 meters. There's another one.
So from a procurement perspective, you don't
Yeah.
want to deal. It's like elections.
Yeah.
If you are of a certain block or
You are collecting
homogeneous,
votes, yeah.
some whatever. It's easier to bulk. Maybe let's say, for example, around a tribe, because we are 10 or a million of us. Let's just get one person instead of getting 3,
Yes.
so that I don't spoil votes.
Yes.
Same for startups. If we are in health, we are correlated, but we never interact. We never engage. Then all of you want to solve for me, and for me, all of you are giving me a solution, because I
you
want an
can't even
end-to-end.
handle it, yeah.
I want an end-to-end solution, but you're offering me one aspect of that. Another consolidated company is saying, I'm going to solve all your health problems through an ERP
Yes.
or a HMIS
Yes.
system.
Yes.
I mean, not a revenue system only, but a full system. And I feel that's the challenge that we have. It's not that you can't get that solution. We are so fragmented, disintegrated, that it becomes very difficult for you to get a tender of it's $1 billion, or someone just lack of you. Maybe you want to supply honey. You're coming to a hotel. They're telling you, give me 10 tons a week, and you have like 2 beehives. You can't even do a liter, and you're saying we don't get work. It's not even just quality. It's can you be able to meet that commitment consistently?
Actually, something you mentioned, and I also noted it when you talked about when you finished high school and then you get yourself a job. Kaka, in this Nairobi, ulipata kazi. Ebu talk about that and talk about this story you were saying.
No, he was
about
working well in
capacity.
school.
Yeah, because it's like you're in a different world.
So my first gig was at a gym. So I
Gym
used to
instructor?
Lakini Gen Z watakubali kuchukua kazi kama hizi kaka.
sasa si nilikuwa nainua chuma huko.
Alafu unasaidia pia.
Nikasema accounts. I can do for you your books.
Yes.
You can cut a bit of the fee, then
Yes,
the excess
yes,
you can give me. Then probably I'm able to.
Yeah.
I'm able to
move forward.
So moved from there, went to an audit firm in Ngara. I can intern. For me there was
You wanted to be doing something.
Yeah, do stuff, and I needed the money to be able to pay school for stuff. Started doing just taking work as they come.
So basically, there is opportunity in Nairobi. You just not come in the way you are waiting for, and that's something very important to say.
So I was in Strath. So even as we are there, I'm seeing guys getting work at PwC, KPMG. Their first job is 60K. Hey, boss, plus a laptop. I'm like, my goodness, if I get that kind of cash, boss, mtanijua ita. And you're getting 15 G's. You're barely surviving on avocado. Yeah. That's why nowadays I'm allergic to avocado. I don't like.
Oh, okay.
I don't like avocado and githeri. Even my wife knows. Siwezi kula avocado na githeri. It reminds me of poverty. Like I said, if you don't have resources, it's not like you have options. So you just have to do what is there.
And there will be something to do. It's just that you need to accept.
There's always something to do.
Might be starting
just
from the bottom.
Working in the gym is not like the best.
Yeah.
It's not like this Kilimani gyms. Gyms
Interesting.
You're not getting so much of it.
It's not much. But there are lessons that you learn from that. Just the culture, hard work, consistency, saving.
Yes.
I remember just buying the first speaker. When you're in a house, ile speaker tu, alafu unashikanisha na simu.
Yeah.
Just listening to that music, I felt like a rich man. You couldn't tell me anything.
It is the small things.
Kangoma kanadunda. Just getting the fans so far. Even moving to a 1-bedroom house. I felt like I was in a mansion.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're coming from a bed seat.
Where you can see all your wealth.
Everything you can touch. I'm getting to a 1-bedroom, my friend. Hey, you sing praises to God like never before. Yes. You're able to cherish, as you
it's
go,
true.
as you move along.
Yeah, this is the journey, Kaka.
In the journey. So even if you get money, you can't play around with money. You know how hard it is to get this stuff.
Yes.
You can't choose. So beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah. Now, Victor, it's quite impressive to hear your journey and how much you've been able to achieve. But now, even fast forward, you've just joined the government this year, right? It's like 7 months down the line, right? From January. You're already organizing Innovate Nairobi Tech Week. And I like how you have coined that word.
Yes.
It's not Nairobi Innovate Tech Week. Is Innovate Nairobi?
And there's a story also this chief should tell you about the Nairobi Innovation Week.
Hiyo ni nyuma ya tent. I know. So we've been, in this ecosystem for over 10 years.
Yes.
So talk about any other innovation we've been involved in.
You have seen it? You have seen things
We
around,
have
eh?
seen. I mean, we know what is happening. We've seen a lot of gatekeeping that is happening within the ecosystem. I mean, so even in our, whenever we meet with tech guys or people within the ecosystem, taking tea, in different forums across the globe, there was always the question, as in, we've not hacked it. We are truly not an ecosystem. There's just something that is actually missing. So there are a lot of silos. There is big tech. There are universities. There is startups who apparently don't go through hubs.
Yes.
I mean, so then the question is, what's the magic formula? So where are they going? So when I was joining the county, part of the things that I knew that we needed to do right is we needed to be able to place Nairobi in its rightful place.
Okay.
So we can talk about Lagos, you can talk about Rwanda, you can talk about
Cairo,
etc. But I mean, Nairobi has not really lived up to its full potential in terms of an ecosystem. So we see sparks of brilliance here and there. But I mean, being able to consistently showcase and celebrate the innovation ecosystem in Kenya has not been done.
I see new startups coming out every year and become bigger.
Yeah, so how can we be able to have a way or a platform in which we're able to celebrate, we're able to showcase, and we can be able to have real empirical evidence of what is happening within the tech ecosystem.
Yeah.
So if you are to be asked today, an investor comes to Kenya today and he asks, how many startups are there in Nairobi? It will be, everyone will give a different number. Disrupt Africa would give 300. I mean, this Partech would give another number. East Africa Venture Capital Association will give another number. How much was fundraised? How much money was raised? I mean, different numbers. So we just don't have one source of truth in terms of empirical evidence of what is actually happening within the ecosystem. So we need to be able to do that. We need to be able to gather that evidence. We need to be able to know which startups are there. So as an investor, I don't need to know someone for me to be able to invest. You need just to see a database where you can be able to query.
Very interesting.
I need edtech.
Yes.
Of this size, using this technology, or I mean, whatever. We've seen that with Startup Estonia. We've seen that with India.
Wow.
I mean, those things are there. So that's what we are calling Innovate Nairobi. So the Tech Week is not just an event. It's a program within the county government to be able to showcase and place Nairobi as the innovation hub for Africa. So if you go to, say, for example, innovatenairobi.go.ke, you will see the Tech Week. You will see a self-register. Of course, it's not operational right now, but you'll see a self-register portal for a startup. So you can register, say, I'm a startup, this is the name, this is the website link, these are the founders, these are the ages, gender, etc. I mean, this is information that not only benefits Nairobi, but also benefits everyone within the ecosystem.
Yes.
So if you want to run an accelerator program for health, I mean, you don't have to scamper everywhere, doing hackathons with refreshing every other day. You can be able to see these are
potential guys to work with.
As an investor, you can be able to get pipeline across many sectors. It doesn't have to be fintech only. So that's the bigger platform that we are calling Innovate Nairobi. That is a platform that is able to showcase the startup ecosystem.
Yeah.
Of course, just drilling down to that is the Tech Week, which again is a platform, not just an event. It's a platform that is able to bring different stakeholders for us to be able to have conversations that matter to Kenya's ecosystem. And even as we discuss them, the question is, and this is the question I was asking the committee. So we set up a committee of random people within the ecosystem. If someone would send me on LinkedIn, I want to join. I'm like, show me.
Play, of course.
Just come.
Yeah.
I mean, I met your co-founder at
Teddy.
Teddy at Cyberbox. I mean, there was
Baraza Labs.
Baraza. So they were doing their launch for the new.
I think it's called Wazo. Wazo, yeah.
The Wazo platform. And I mean, we sat for 10 minutes, and I was like, email Monday, we are done, we are collaborating. Right now, Africa's Talking is doing the hackathon for the Tech Week. I mean, it's just having that open mind for us to be able to collaborate collectively to ensure that even as we talk about the challenges and we pose, our successes, for me, the biggest question was, what are we doing next immediately after the Tech Week? So what kind of programs are we going to ensure that startups and the ecosystem moves forward? Whether it's a policy conversation, whether it's a say, for example, digitization of informal sector.
Yeah.
So working with the Federation of Juakali Associations, normally they're not in tech. If you are to have a tech week, even guys were when we were starting, they were like, hey, why are Juakali guys doing? What are Juakali guys doing? You need to be serious. I was like, hey, boss, check yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys need the tech that you're talking about.
Yes.
If you exclude them from the conversation, by the time you're bringing a solution,
it's a very big ecosystem.
So I mean, we have ILO that is coming to be able to explore how we can be able to crack that issue of
decent work, decent labor.
Of digitizing informal sector so that they can be more productive, they can be able to get value. Issues around health. So we have AMREF, we have Vilgro, we have county government that is also has money and is trying to solve issues around tech, which goes to a point in terms of there is solutions, but which platform would allow these people to be able to to collaborate outside of exhibition. So you can do an exhibition and say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But if we don't sit down and just have a conversation and listen to each other and be able to exchange and see how you can even pivot. Because sometimes you can have a solution, but it's not a direct fit for purpose for county. So then can we be able to pivot? Who's going to fund that? I mean, those are the meaningful conversations that we want to have. Remember, we launched, this is our first tech week for the county.
Yes.
We started off in January with not a single shilling. So the ecosystem realized value, and we have the entire tech week fully funded.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
there was no single person who can even say that we chased them because they didn't have money. So a lot of guys, I mean, even, convention.
We even were fighting. We are fighting, man.
But I never at any point refused on the basis of funding. So for me, it was, what value do you think you're going to bring?
Yes.
Then come, let's talk, let's align that and within the master plan in terms of program. Then let's do it. And we have almost everyone within tech, within the innovation week. From big tech to even kids. We're having a kids hackathon. We're having gamers doing esports. I mean, everyone is welcome to the tech week, and it's free. So every other tech week that we've had since the beginning of the world, since the Big Bang or whatever, the creation, it has been charged. I mean, even if it's 5K, guys can't afford 5K.
It's true.
Guys
There was
can't
one
afford
I
even
saw
3K.
that was almost $350, but we can't say much. Let's be
why
good.
would you have a tech week and say you want to showcase, then exclude the majority of
the people?
of the people?